So we're doing a follow-up on what you guys just saw yesterday. If you're watching these clips over at Are Those Guys on the Radio YouTube channel, we are talking about Samantha Inoue Hart and some very strange complications regarding something that happened to her recently. So let's go through this one again in case some of you guys might not have been there. Also because, again, for Tristan and I, we talked about this last week. So when the news had broke, there was no police report. When the news had broke, Samantha Inoue Hart had said online, specifically she said, hey, I'm calling, apparently someone swatted my rental place, right? And that's when I think that might have been before she even filed a police report, but she said the phrase, someone swatted my rental place, and then was essentially blaming people who are IStandWithVic supporters. Now, I don't want to blame all IStandWithVic supporters, especially for doing something like this. The problem, though, is that some people who claim to align themselves with IStandWithVic, even though there shouldn't be sides, but they still claim to align themselves with them, will sometimes send out death threats. We've covered this, right? Will sometimes send out other harassments, and threats and things like that. So when someone online says something like, oh, it's like to Monica Real, hopefully she puts on a bulletproof vest because, maybe someone at the next convention will do something. When someone says that, and if you want to see us talk about that, we've talked about that before. So we can't flash every single thing we've talked about during every single video, but we've talked about it before. So when someone does that, yeah, I can understand potentially someone else when something happens, to either their property, like where they live, or their rental property. Maybe somebody jumps the gun. And Tristan, I think she may have jumped the gun, at least when posting.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like, especially when looking at the pictures, which we'll get to in a second. Now, I want to jump to... let's see, we have up, okay, great. Oh, perfect. We actually have it up right here. So I'm going to quickly, I would just like to crop this as we're talking. Let's see right here. I want to crop this as we're talking because I want to take a look at the police report because, again, at the time, there was no police report, and it was a little frustrating only because, you're reporting on this. You want to make sure you have all your, eggs in a basket, everything. Like, I think eggs in a basket's the right term. You want to make sure you just have all your ducks in a row. Like, you're not just doing an entire video on random speculation. But there was no police report or anything like that. So, and that was the issue because it was just coming out like live. Like as we're talking about this, boom, here it is. So let's take a look at it right now. It says, it was something that was faxed over to Anime News Network. Whatever you think about Anime News Network, that's, because now there are some people that are like, oh no, I don't trust Anime News Network whatsoever. And it's just like, well, then I guess nothing from Anime News Network is trustworthy, even when they say an anime is coming out. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But either way, though, so apparently the door that was damaged was not swatting. It was considered criminal mischief. So she doesn't know, obviously, who did it. The police don't know either. But there's a big difference between that and being swatted. Now, what she claims is she received a phone call from a fake phone number that said she was swatted. She drove to the rental home and found the door damaged. She then contacted police. So what I'm thinking may have happened is, like I said earlier, her jumping the gun. I think that she really just got this phone call, was flustered, and once she gets there, she just posts about it on social media, and it's just like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Shouldn't
That's
really
not
be your first move.
No, because the thing is, here's the thing, right? I don't know if she's received any threats on her Twitter timeline or her Facebook timeline before this. I don't know if she had, right? So maybe if she had, then I can understand where she's coming from mentally. Like if she's in a certain, state of duress, I get it.
Yeah.
But I still think that it's just the thing with Monica Real is that she had seemingly saw it. I don't know why. Why is suck the fucking... That's weird. My brain was... The point is that she sought legal counsel.
Right.
I don't know, but no, my brain was literally like, swatted? No, suck. And I'm like, what the fuck? No, but she sought legal counsel. So she did do that. So that's why she's posting a lot on social media, because she's like, hey guys, like, I'm looking at legal counsel. Could you just not death threat me anymore? That'd be real nice. right? But we don't know if she had gotten any harassment, and if she did, then I understand her state of mind. But to kind of post that on social media was a little bit disconcerting, especially due to the pictures, which again I'll get to just in a second. We want to take a look at this at the actual cover sheet zone. You can see that you can see her name. You can see when the date was filed, which is 2/20, which, if I remember correctly, was not the day that it happened. But of course, that Monday was also President's Day.
Right.
So there's a lot going on there as well, because of course it's President's Day. Some, depending on where you are in the U.S., some police stations will be open, but will actually have limited staff. And also, people were sharing their personal stories. A lot of the times when stuff like this happens, because some people were saying, "Why didn't you go to the police immediately?" When stuff like this happens, especially when you have like a broken door and stuff to fix, it's just not so easy to just be like, yeah, come right on in. Granted, it's not her apartment, it's the rental place, but still, sometimes even the police will say, hey, give it a day to cool down and everything like that. So I think there are some people out there, and I'm not saying that they're doing this disingenuously, but there are definitely some people out there who now we even have a police report, and immediately their first thought is, well, why didn't she go the minute it happened? It's like, well, there's a broken door to deal with. That's probably why you wouldn't go immediately. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying they're saying that in bad faith, but it's just like sometimes people need a second to breathe, right? I feel like some people think like they're like, not even like a Bruce Willis in Die Hard, because he like went out and took them out himself, but they're just very litigious. Like it's actually like a cut from a movie. Like we cut from like I'm in front of the house to I'm at the lawyer, or I'm at the police, and it's like It's not how it works. Like, you're not just there. You have to drive there. You have to, like, you're leaving your home unattended. The door, or the rental home unattended, the door's wide open. You have to buy something to, like, fix that. Anyway, but here's the thing, though, and this is the issue, right? So, yes, of course, there are still some people that are out there saying, like, oh, but is the police report faked? Which, Tristan, I don't want to be that guy. But I told you, Tristan. Off podcast. We never got it on podcast, so I can't cut to a clip. But I told Tristan off podcast we were going to get to a point where there were going to be a subsection of people who were going to say, in the face of the police reports that they claimed that they wanted, that it's a fake police report. I said it, Tristan. I said it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And here we are. Yes. Now... Yeah. So, Tristan, before we move on and talk about some of the pictures and that issue right there and how that potentially calls things into question, not the police report, but some of what happened into question. Before we talk about that, Tristan, what are your thoughts thus far?
That confusion and...
Okay. Well, now, so I have a question for you. So you're not a social media savvy person. Is that why this confuses you? Because you're not someone who would think, oh, my home has been broken into, let me post this on social media.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing right there. It wouldn't be my first idea. Even if it was, oh, I'm thinking a certain group, on social media maybe behind this. Like you said before, it's like, I have a broken door now. I can't
right.
Lock it.
Well, to be fair,
like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be like, who am I going to call to deal with this?
That's true. The thing is,
a lot more on my mind than...
Oh, no, definitely. And I agree. I think another thing to think about as well is I do wonder if she didn't go there alone, because we don't know if she went there with anybody. Because if it was like you and me, I would potentially, like... if I would be the one to post it on social media on your behalf, like you're telling me like, dude, this is terrible, while you're the one calling around like, I need to fix this door.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think of it as, like, I don't think she went there alone, because of course you're right, there has to be a lot of other things on your mind as well. But I do want, we should acknowledge though that yes, like, it is confusing to someone like Tristan, who is not very much like, you're on social media, but you don't have a Twitter. You're not really that into social media. So for you, you're like, yeah, your first thought is, I got to get that door fixed. Which, I mean, I think, well, remember, she said that this happened to her before, so she probably did know the guy. Hell, she probably had his number on speed dial, because this has happened to her rental house before, according to her. Now, The problem, and here's where we get into that issue. The problem with that was this specifically. And I want to bring up the picture right here. Nope, that's the wrong picture. Because there's some, because we still have some pictures from last time that I had up.
Is this your card?
Yeah, right. No, I don't remember. I didn't remember if I had them saved or not. Let's see here, because the problem is last time she posted a picture, two different sets of pictures in her posts, right. And one of the posts actually had her discussing something that happened to her in 2016 to her rental place. And then the next one was actually the pictures from what just happened.
Right.
And if that post is the actual thing that she posted and that's not like a fabrication, because again, we can't clarify because her Facebook account is not up anymore. But if that is 100% what she did, then for some reason she used those pictures again. And those were not new pictures because they were the exact same pictures in both posts. And that is a huge issue and a huge red flag, regardless of who you are.
Yeah, it might have also been the idea, possibly different pictures, but the way that it's cropped, it's a certain angle and the lighting is slightly different, but it does almost look the damage almost looks exactly the same kind of deal, and it's odd.
Yeah, and also I would like to note in the article itself, let's go right back down to this article, Inoue Hart claims she reached out to ANN and said that she clarified that she did reuse the photos in her Facebook post because the door that was damaged on Monday showed her home address number. In order to avoid showing her house number on the damaged door, she stated she instead used the old photos. Right. Now, here's the thing. I totally get that. Even though my house number isn't on the door, it is for the house that I used to live in with my family in Long Island. And Tristan, is your house number on your door? I'm curious.
Not on my door.
Okay. Because in my head, I was like, I've seen his house recently. I should know this. But for some reason, I was like, shit changes.
No, okay, so for us, but...
Right. Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, it doesn't. All right. So, it doesn't. So, your house number is not on your door, which is good. And, so you can take a picture of your door in case something happens. Now the internet's like, good.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, but then here we are again. It's like, obviously she doesn't want her house number online, but it's like, other than taking, take a picture of the damage to show the company or for the police report, why would you then post that to social media? Like, I don't get that.
Because I think, so this is pure speculation on my end. I wonder if she's thinking, they're not going to believe me. Because, again, people she has been following this. I don't know if she's been following this, but let's say that she has, right? She's seeing that people are literally looking at pictures of Vic Mignogna hugging people. And instead of saying, we don't know if some of these women or even men are feel like that it was inappropriate, they're not even starting there anymore. They started there originally, and it was like, okay, we can have a discussion here. They've moved on to they're all photoshopped. And it's like, what? What do you mean they're all photoshopped? And I've yet to see someone actually show me a photoshopped picture. Like, I've even asked on social media. The most that someone showed me, and I think we talked about this last time, Tristan, during a follow-up. The most that someone showed me was there was a picture of a woman who she was not upset at Vic Mignogna hugging her. She looked like she was a little frustrated, but she was not at all. So she's actually part of the Rissenville Rangers. She's part of his fan club. She was so happy to be there. It was her and her mother, right? And ANN had her in a category of not of people who were disgusted, people who were underage. And they took it down because people were like, hey, even her was like, hey, can you please take it down? And she was, and ANN was like, okay, fine. So they took it out of the original article. So, but you can still probably go on the Wayback Machine and find it in the original article. And it was, just like all the pictures in that article, it was mosaic. Why? Because as a news organization, they want to make sure that they're not showing people's faces without their permission. Right. So even though the picture was being floated around, it was not in the section of people who said that they came to ANN to say that they were, harassed or assaulted by Vic. No, this was other miscellaneous section. So, but either way, it was mosaicked. What are people saying online about it? Oh, they're mosaicked it. They mosaicked it to make it look worse because it doesn't look like Vic Mignogna kissed her on the cheek. It looks worse, and it's like, No, it's because they're a news organization. Despite what you think about them, like you can think whatever you want to about them, that's fine. But like they're a news organization, so you can't just post. There's a reason why when you see on the news, even if people are talking, even if the anchors are talking about people's outfits, they don't show their face.
Right.
Anyone that's on camera, like, oh, hey, what do you think about this current story that we're talking about that we're cutting to you for? They have to ask them first. They can't just like accost people unless they're public figures. Usually a public figure, like, you know, people, they'll run up and be like, oh my god, well, about this, like when they're walking out of a courthouse or something. But this woman, who, you know, the one who's part of is a Rissenbull Ranger, she's not a public figure, so they're not just going to post her face. So anyway, I've seen no photoshops, right? But I do wonder if Inoue Hart, maybe if she's been following this, she thought, oh, I'll post this picture and people will think it's okay because it's proof. And it's just like,
But then,
no, it's just, yeah, no, because
even if you do post it in the moment to be like, oh, well, here, you know, here's the actual picture, it's like of the actual damage, people are still not going to believe it.
No, so I think that if she was trying to overcorrect, she has to learn, and sadly the hard way, and I hate that it's this hard, that you can't overcorrect that hard, you know? Like, you can explain your side, explain your stance, you can defend yourself verbally, but if you're just going to put that out there, and that's just speculation on our end, but you're going to put it out there to try to prove to people that it happened, people are going to say whatever they want to say, just don't put it out there. Oh, there's no pictures? Yeah, but there's the police report. Let that police report stand for itself. So, yeah, and so I just think that she went about this the wrong way. Regardless of what you think about the situation, I think she went about it the wrong way, and it's really sad and frustrating because the fact that the pictures are reused and she didn't claim that they were reused, so people had to find out the hard way. And now that she actually, you know, confirmed that they were reused, there's no speculation on it anymore. We now have to sit back and sit there and call into question things that we shouldn't call into question. So even though we shouldn't be sitting here saying that the police report is fake, because what in the fucking hell, right? Again, we cannot devolve into that.
Right, because the police report goes into, you know, they haven't found, you know, the person responsible for the damage.
No. So, yeah. No, but what I'm saying, Tristan, is that even though we're not going to go into, oh, you know, is the police report faked, because we can't delve into that, we do have to acknowledge that your first thought in your brain after hearing that, again, this is about, because last time when we talked about this, we said that your first, in our opinions, right, if she lied about this, and if she is still lying about this, that doesn't mean that she's lied about everything in her life, and that it calls everything she's ever done into question. No, that's not how people work. But because we're talking about this specific issue, I do think it does initially in your brain call other things into question. So it is kind of frustrating, like, you know, seeing that she posted pictures that were from 2016. Now it does call other things into question. Again, initially, I don't want to say this police report is fake because, good God, we don't want to delve into conspiracy theories, but and fall prey to them. But it is definitely frustrating. So I just hope that she never does something like this again. I hope that if we do learn more about this, it's information that solves something or another, right? It's not miscellaneous stuff. It's something that could actually be considered progress in this and not have us move backward in the quest for info. But again, you know, I would just suggest though, again, like I said last time, if you find her on social media of some type, or she gets back on social media, do not harass her. Vic Mignogna has said, if you're a fan of his, do not harass people in his name. So don't harass her, irregardless of what you think. And also don't ask her for information that you, and I mean the general you, including us as well, are not privy to. So I'm not, even though I said, oh, hopefully we get some more info, in no way am I saying to her directly, give me info. Because remember, everybody, we have oh, hello, Patchy. We have a motto here at those guys, and I think it's a motto that we've used for years now, unofficially. Who the fuck are we? Right? Like, no, but like I say that seriously. Like, who are we to, or anyone really, to, unless you're a lawyer or a police officer, to ask her for info regarding this topic? Like, obviously, A&N asked her because they're a news organization, so they're reporting on it. But other than that, what are you gonna, you know, you can't.
I mean, she could have turned them down for comment too, even, you know.
Even, yes. And yeah, so, and she chose to comment on this. And again, thankfully she did, because I think she may have realized, like, oh, I fucked up by putting up those pictures. You know, she may have sit back and was like, that's not good that I posted those pictures. Those aren't the right pictures. So I should talk to ANN, because really she needed to. Like, if she wasn't going to make a post on her account or something like that, she needed to talk to somebody about this, because dear God.